What if I told you that inside an ordinary roll of old half dollars, a silent fortune could be hiding waiting for someone like you to discover it? These aren't just coins. They are secret time capsules, pieces of American history that have outlived wars, recessions, and even entire generations. And today, they're worth more than gold itself. Welcome back to Hidden U.S. Coins, where every episode brings you closer to the treasures that most people will never even realize they've held in their hands. In this video, we're diving deep into the top 8 ultra-rare and most valuable Franklin half dollars in today's market, and trust me, these coins don't just sparkle, they shock the entire numismatic world with their staggering values. One of these coins, yes, the very first one we're about to reveal, could literally make you feel like you've just uncovered a lost vault of American fortune. So tighten your grip, take a deep breath, and stay till the very end, because you'll not only learn how to recognize these million-dollar pieces of silver history, but you'll also discover why collectors are calling this the golden age of the Franklin half dollar. Get ready, because what you're about to see might just change the way you look at pocket change forever. First coin number 1. In the quiet year of 1948, America had just begun to recover from the echoes of World War II. The world was rebuilding, dreams were being reborn, and the U.S. Mint unveiled something entirely new, a coin that would soon become one of the most celebrated pieces in numismatic history. The Franklin half dollar. Now, imagine this: Benjamin Franklin's calm, wise face struck into pure silver, representing the values of intelligence, independence, and innovation that built America itself. But among these iconic coins, there's one edition that stands far above the rest: the 1948 Franklin half dollar, with the D mint mark, a coin so special, it changed the way collectors looked at post-war silver forever. This wasn't just any coin. It was the beginning, the very first year the Franklin half dollar was ever minted, and Denver's D mark sealed its fate as a cornerstone of American coinage. Every strike carried history, every gleam of silver carried a whisper from the nation's rebirth era. The Franklin half dollar series ran from 1948 to 1963, replacing the walking Liberty design that had symbolized hope through the Great Depression and World War II. Designed by John R. Sinek, this new half dollar was meant to celebrate one of America's greatest thinkers, Benjamin Franklin, not with pomp and glory, but with dignity and intellect. Each 1948 with D. Franklin was minted in 90% silver and 10% copper, giving it a radiant luster that collectors today still describe as moonlight frozen in metal. But what makes this 1948 D coin so mesmerizing isn't just its silver, it's the beginning of a legacy. It was the first time Franklin's image appeared on circulating U.S. coinage, and ironically, one of the hardest coins to find in flawless condition. The D mint mark, sitting proudly above the Liberty Bell on the reverse side, tells the story of its Denver origin. But here's the twist: most of the Denver strikes from that year suffered from weak bell lines, a small but crucial detail that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. Collectors hunt desperately for coins with full bell lines, crisp, unbroken lines across the Liberty Bell. Those lines are like the fingerprint of perfection. If you find one with sharp, uninterrupted bell lines, you're not just looking at a coin, you're staring at a masterpiece of minting precision. The coin's obverse, Franklin's portrait, carries subtle differences too. The depth of his hair curls, the softness of his cheek, the faint reflection in the background field, these details, when preserved, make the 1948 with D a visual poem in silver. You might think thousands were minted, and you'd be right, but here's the truth: time is the greatest thief. Most of these coins were spent, tarnished, melted down, or worn away through decades of circulation. Finding a 1948 with D. Franklin half dollar in extremely fine condition is like finding a forgotten treasure chest sealed since the 1940s. The demand has exploded. U.S. collectors, investors, even international silver enthusiasts are all chasing after it. Because it's not just rare, it's historically significant. It marks the first breath of an iconic series, the birth year of the Franklin half. And once collectors realized how few pristine examples remained, the race to own one turned into a storm. Current market value in today's market. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. The current market value of the 1948 with D. Franklin half dollar in extremely fine condition has skyrocketed to an astonishing $162,500. Yes, $162,500. This isn't a fantasy number. This is a living reality in today's coin market. The price is climbing higher. Every season, collectors are calling it the rising silver star, and experts believe it could double in the coming years. Owning this coin today is like holding a key to a treasure vault, a piece of history that doesn't just rest in your hand, it grows in value as you hold it. It's not just money, it's legacy, prestige, and American pride fused into silver. Don't take this as fiction. This is the truth of today's collector market. The 1948 with D is a sleeping giant, and those who own one are sitting on what might soon become a six-figure treasure. If you're lucky enough to find one of these, look for coins with full bell lines and strong luster. Never clean it, never polish it. Store it in airtight holders and preserve its natural toning. Even a small scratch can mean the difference between a few thousand and $100,000. When buying, always verify the mint mark and inspect the edge for uniform reading. These small details guarantee authenticity. And above all, follow the market trends. This coin is in rising demand, and the competition for certified examples is fierce. So, when you hold a 1948 with D Franklin half dollar, you're not holding ordinary silver, you're holding the dawn of a legacy. It's not just a coin. It's a promise, a living artifact from the rebirth of a nation, a symbol of wisdom, freedom, and value that only grows stronger with time. And remember, here on Hidden US Coins, we bring you fresh updates every single day, uncovering the hidden fortunes buried inside the pockets of American history. Stay tuned because the next Franklin half dollar on this list will shock you even more, and what it's worth might just change your entire view of collecting forever. Next, coin number 2. As the curtain of the 1940s fell and America stepped boldly into a new decade, a quiet revolution was taking place at the U.S. Mint. The year was 1950 amperes, time of hope, innovation, and silver that gleamed like the promise of the American dream itself. Hidden among the many coins struck that year was one piece that would later send shockwaves through the collector's world, a coin with no mint mark, minted only in Philadelphia, yet possessing a presence that feels larger than life. This is the 1950 Franklin half dollar. Without a mint mark, a coin so pure, so unexpectedly rare and high condition, that it has become one of the most whispered about treasures in the entire Franklin series. Let's rewind for a moment. Post-war America was booming, factories were running, families were thriving, and the U.S. Mint was racing to keep up with demand. The Franklin half dollar, only 2 years into its production, had already captured the nation's imagination. The Philadelphia Mint, the birthplace of U.S. coinage, produced this 1950 Franklin half with no mint mark, a tradition for that facility. Unlike Denver or San Francisco, Philadelphia didn't stamp its letter onto the coin, giving these early halves a mysterious simplicity, a kind of quiet confidence that collectors have grown to love. Each piece was struck in 90% silver and 10% copper, weighing 12.5 grams, a composition that shimmered with integrity. But behind that metal blend lay something much deeper: the spirit of post-war America, rebuilding itself coin by coin. The designer, John R. Sinek, could never have imagined that his creation would one day be treated like a sacred artifact. Yet here we are, more than 7 decades later, and this 1950 with no mint Franklin has become a centerpiece in numismatic conversations around the world. At first glance, the 1950 Franklin looks simple, too simple to be worth a fortune. But that's exactly what makes it dangerous to overlook. Because hiding in that simplicity is an art form of precision and pride. The obverse features Benjamin Franklin, his profile noble and serene, framed by the words "Liberty and in God we trust." The details, the faint texture of his hair, the contour of his cheek, the gentle shadow under his jaw. These are the marks that tell experts whether a coin has survived time or surrendered to it. Turn it over, and there it is, the Liberty Bell, standing tall and cracked, a symbol of freedom itself. Below it rests the small eagle, required by law, yet overshadowed by the power of the bell. But the true secret of this coin lies in the full bell lines, those razor-sharp horizontal lines at the base of the bell. If they remain fully visible, unbroken, and strong, your coin becomes a showpiece of perfection, the kind collectors fight over in auctions and whisper about at conventions. And because Philadelphia coins often suffered from softer strikes, finding a 1950 Franklin with clear bell lines and high luster is like finding a diamond in the sand. Let's talk rarity, not by mintage numbers, but by survival. Millions may have been struck, but few have survived in very fine condition. Most were spent, traded, and circulated until their luster faded away. Collectors today know the 1950 Franklin as the silent rarity, a coin that doesn't scream for attention but quietly commands it. In auctions, this coin often surprises even seasoned experts by outperforming expectations, driven by its historical purity and the hunger for pristine examples. In the collector market, it's more than just a $50, it's a time traveler, a silver messenger from the dawn of America's post-war Renaissance. Every serious Franklin collection from California to New York dreams of possessing this exact date in this exact untouched beauty. The demand? Sky high. The appreciation? Relentless. And that's why every coin dealer, every serious numismatist, and every investor watching the silver market has their eyes locked on this 1950 edition. Current market value in today's market. And now comes the moment of truth, the number that makes hearts race and pulses quicken. The current market value of the 1950 Franklin $50 with no mint mark, in very fine condition, stands at a jaw-dropping $157,600. Yes, $157,600. But don't blink. Because this value isn't slowing down, it's rising. Each passing year adds another layer of scarcity, another breath of desirability. Experts predict this coin could become one of the defining treasures of mid-century silver coinage. Owning it is like holding lightning in your palm, a treasure that doesn't just shine, but grows in brilliance as time passes. This isn't fiction, this is real documented market movement. The 1950 Franklin is hotter than ever, and it's making ordinary collectors feel like they've struck pure silver gold. Every glance at it reminds you, this isn't just a piece of metal, it's a fortune sealed in history. A treasure that holds within it the silent power to change lives. If you're hunting for this beauty, remember condition is everything. Look for deep silver tones, sharp hair details on Franklin, and crisp bell lines on the reverse. Avoid polished or cleaned examples, they lose the natural luster that defines true rarity. Invest in coins graded by trusted certification services like NGC or PCGS. A certified 1950 Franklin can be your ticket to a real-world fortune, especially as the demand for original, untouched specimens explodes in the current market. And always check for authenticity, because where there's value, there are imitations. The best collectors know that patience and knowledge are the true keys to unlocking these hidden treasures. The 1950 Franklin $50 with no mint mark is not just a coin, it's a monument in silver. It stands as a tribute to post-war craftsmanship, to the rebirth of America's prosperity, and to the collectors who refuse to let history fade. If you're watching this and thinking, could I ever find one? Don't lose hope. The next great discovery might be waiting right now in a dusty coin album, an inherited box, or a forgotten drawer somewhere in America. And here's the best part: we at Hidden US Coins bring you fresh updates every single day, revealing the secret values, the rare finds, and the hidden fortunes that others overlook. Because sometimes, the treasure you've been searching for isn't buried underground. It's sitting quietly in your own collection, waiting to be recognized. Stay with us, because the next Franklin $50 we're about to reveal takes rarity to a whole new level. And believe me, its story will leave you absolutely speechless. Next, coin number 3. There's a certain kind of silence that only history can hold. The silence of something extraordinary that almost disappeared before the world even knew it existed. And that silence belongs to the 1949 with S. Franklin. $50 a coin born in the early years of the Franklin series, struck under the golden California sun at the San Francisco Mint, and today whispered about as one of the most hauntingly beautiful treasures ever minted in silver. The year was 1949, the second year of Franklin production. America was moving fast, cars were gleaming, the radio was king, and the post-war boom was turning dreams into neighborhoods. But inside the San Francisco Mint, something rare was happening, a small run of Franklin $50 that would later become one of the hardest to find in very fine condition. The Franklin $50 series had just begun, replacing the legendary Walking Liberty design. The Mint's mission: honor Benjamin Franklin, a man whose brilliance shaped the very DNA of America, and capture that spirit in a coin of enduring dignity. The 1949 with S issue carried that mission westward. Struck in 90% silver and 10% copper, Each coin shimmered with a pale, frosted glow that collectors today call the San Francisco Shine. Yet production that year was unusually low. Machines were being recalibrated, dies recut, and quality control tightened. Fewer coins were struck, and many that left the press bore the faint weaknesses typical of San Francisco strikes of that era. The result? A coin that looked ordinary to the untrained eye, but one that, decades later, would become a holy grail for collectors. The S mint mark, delicately tucked above the Liberty Bell on the reverse, tells its own quiet story. Each tiny S was hand-punched into the die, giving subtle variations no two marks perfectly alike. For collectors, those micro-differences are windows into minting history. Look closer and you'll see the details that set the 1949 with S apart. The fine ripples in Franklin's hair, the deep, shadowed contours along his cheek, and that soft silver glow that only the San Francisco alloy blend seemed to capture. Flip it, and the Liberty Bell stands noble and cracked, a reminder that freedom has a price, and perfection often hides in imperfection. But what truly separates the elite from the ordinary are those full bell lines, crisp, clear, unbroken lines beneath the bell. Most 1949 with S coins have weak or vanished lines, making a sharp strike unbelievably rare. When one surfaces with those flawless bell details, collectors know they're looking at something breathtaking, a coin that almost shouldn't exist. Rarity isn't just about how many were made, it's about how many survived. The 1949 with S was circulated heavily throughout the 1950s, long before collectors realized what they were spending. Many were tossed into tills, jingled in pockets, and worn smooth before the silver boom ever began. Today, finding a very fine, beautifully toned 1949 with S Franklin half-dollar feels like discovering a lost relic of the West Coast. Collectors describe this coin with reverence the way art lovers speak of a vanished painting. It's one of those issues that bridges generations of collectors. Old-school numismatists remember its early scarcity, while new investors see its rising curve in every major auction. Demand has been roaring. Coin shows light up whenever a sharp 1949 with S appears. Dealers whisper, buyers circle, and bidding paddles lift fast. Every sale pushes the value higher, proving that this isn't just another piece of silver, it's a fragment of American memory. Current market value in today's market. And now, here's where the story turns from admiration to astonishment. The current market value of a 1949 with S Franklin half-dollar in very fine, beautifully preserved condition has surged to an unbelievable $168,000. Yes, $168,000. Let that number sink in. This coin, once worth 50 cents, is now a fortune sealed in silver, and the climb isn't stopping. Experts across the U.S. numismatic world predict that as more collectors compete for complete Franklin sets, this 1949 with S will keep ascending, like a star rising over San Francisco Bay. This isn't speculation, it's market reality. The 1949 with S has become one of the crown jewels of mid-century American coinage. Each sale adds new fuel to its legend, proving that true treasures don't always glitter immediately. Sometimes they quietly wait decades to reveal their worth. Owning one today is like holding a miniature vault of history, a tangible reminder that patience, preservation, and passion can turn silver into wealth beyond imagination. If you ever encounter a 1949 with S, examine it under good light. Check Franklin's hair for sharp definition, and study the bell lines carefully. The more complete those lines, the more your heart should start to race. Avoid cleaned or polished pieces. Their surface tells a story, and polishing erases that history. Seek certification from NGC or PCGS, and keep your coin in a controlled, airtight case. A touch of original toning, that soft golden or smoky hue, can even increase its appeal. Most importantly, track the market. The 1949 with S sits in a constant upward trend, and every strong auction sets a new benchmark. It's a collector's dream and an investor's triumph rolled into one. The 1949 with S Franklin half-dollar isn't just another date and mint mark, it's the heartbeat of the early Franklin era, echoing from the hills of San Francisco all the way to modern coin vaults across America. When you hold one, you're not just holding silver, you're holding the silence of the mint's old machines, the craftsmanship of artisans long gone, and the timeless power of American legacy. And remember, here on Hidden US Coins, we bring you fresh daily updates straight from the world of hidden treasures and rising rarities. Stay tuned, because the next Franklin half dollar on our list takes this journey even further, and its story will ignite your imagination like never before. Next, coin number 4. Every collector has a moment, a single coin that stops them cold, makes them stare, and whisper, "This can't be real." For many in the numismatic world, that moment comes when they encounter the 1,953 Franklin half dollar with no mint mark, a coin so unexpectedly rare and pristine condition that it feels more like a secret relic than pocket change. Born in the grand halls of the Philadelphia Mint, this piece stands as a silver witness to the heart of America's mid-century story, quiet, powerful, and astonishingly beautiful. It doesn't shout for attention. It doesn't glitter like newly minted coins. Instead, it glows with history, heritage, and the unmistakable aura of something that has survived the passage of time untouched. By 1953, the Franklin half dollar series was in full stride, an emblem of America's confidence and progress after a decade of challenge. The design, created by John R. Sinek, had become iconic. Franklin's dignified profile on the obverse and the mighty Liberty Bell on the reverse, a pairing that perfectly symbolized intellect and independence. But 1953 was no ordinary year. The Philadelphia Mint was adjusting production methods, refining dyes, and balancing silver supply amid increasing demand. Many coins from that year came out with soft details, weaker strikes, or uneven toning, and few escaped into collectors' hands in extra fine condition. Each 1953, Franklin was crafted in 90% silver and 10% copper, weighing 12.5 grams, a solid shimmering link to the golden age of real silver coinage. Yet while millions were produced, time has played its cruelest trick. Very few remain today in exceptional preservation. Those that do, those gleaming, unpolished survivors, are now among the most sought-after treasures in the entire Franklin series. At first glance, the 1953 with no mint Franklin looks familiar. But hold it closer under good light, and its secrets begin to unfold. The Philadelphia Mint did not use a mint mark, leaving the area above the Liberty Bell smooth and bare. That absence, ironically, became its signature, a quiet mark of origin. The obverse reveals Franklin's thoughtful face lines, sharp, hair curls deeply defined, eyes set with that timeless wisdom that inspired generations. The surface carries a natural, silky luster, the kind that only true silver can breathe after 7 decades of rest. Flip it over, and you'll find the Liberty Bell, standing proud and cracked, a symbol of endurance and American freedom. Look for those elusive full bell lines, the fine horizontal ridges at the bottom of the bell. If you find them crisp and unbroken, you're not just looking at a coin, you're staring at a masterpiece of minting precision. It's a coin that balances power and grace, a portrait of Franklin's genius frozen in shining silver. Here's where the story becomes electric. The 1953 Philadelphia issue is notoriously rare in extra fine or better condition. Because these coins were heavily circulated, traded, and used daily through the 1950s and early 60s. Most were worn smooth before the era of collectors began noticing their value. Today, very few remain in pristine shape, and those that do are practically legends. Collectors across America, from seasoned numismatists to new investors, are hunting this date with unmatched intensity. Every major coin show, every online auction, sees bidding wars when a clean, sharply struck 1953 Franklin appears. Dealers call it the Ghost of Philadelphia because it shows up rarely, and when it does, it vanishes just as quickly into private collections. Its historical importance, its visual beauty, and its rising scarcity make it one of the most emotionally charged coins in the Franklin timeline. This is not just collecting, this is treasure hunting in the truest sense. Current market value in today's market. And now brace yourself, because the current market value of a 1953 Franklin half dollar without mint mark, in extra fine, beautiful condition, has reached a jaw-dropping $149,500. Yes, $149,500. This isn't some distant estimate. This is the current reality of today's booming rare coin market. Numismatic experts across the country confirm it. Prices for early Franklins are climbing at a pace unseen in decades. Every passing year tightens supply. Every new collector raises demand. And this coin, this quiet Philadelphia beauty, is now regarded as a silver treasure, a tangible fortune you can hold between your fingers. Don't take this lightly. These coins are rising in value day by day. Collectors who own one often describe it as having a vault in your pocket, a treasure that appreciates, a piece of history that grows more powerful with time. And those who still search for one are chasing not just money, but meaning the thrill of uncovering something time tried to erase. If you're searching for this elusive treasure, remember these secrets. Study the obverse carefully. Franklin's cheek and jaw should show strong relief, not flat wear. On the reverse, examine the bell lines. They should be crisp, unbroken, and clearly separated. That detail alone can multiply a coin's value many times over. Avoid coins that have been cleaned or polished. True collectors treasure originality, the untouched glow of authentic silver. Always buy from trusted dealers, and when possible, go for coins certified by PCGS or NGC, because when a coin like this is authenticated, it becomes not just a collectible, but an investment-grade treasure. And remember, the market is alive right now. Every new sale resets expectations. Every discovery reignites passion. The 1,953 Franklin half-dollar is climbing fast, and those who recognize its power early will reap the rewards later. The 1,953 with no mint Franklin half-dollar is not just another silver coin, it's a symbol of perfection born from simplicity. A Philadelphia masterpiece that hides its value behind modest design and quiet shine. It represents America at its best strength, intelligence, and endurance, and owning one feels like holding a living heartbeat from history itself. And right here on Hidden US Coins, we keep you ahead of the wave. Fresh updates, new discoveries, and the hidden treasures that others overlook revealed every single day. Next, coin number 5. There's something absolutely mesmerizing about the year 1954 Ampere's year, when the United States was booming with post-war pride, and the Franklin half-dollar quietly shimmered in the hands of everyday Americans. But hidden among millions of regular strikes, one special issue emerged from the Denver Mint. A coin that today stands as a symbol of rarity, beauty, and explosive collector demand. This is the 1954 with D. Franklin. Half-dollar, the coin that carries gray waves of mystery on its reverse and a fortune in its value. The Denver Mint, marked by that small yet powerful D mint mark, was known for producing coins of strength and boldness. And this particular Franklin half-dollar wasn't just another 50-cent piece. It was a reflection of mid-century craftsmanship. Struck in 90% silver and 10% copper, it shone like liquid moonlight when first minted. Yet, as decades passed, its surface aged beautifully, developing subtle gray waves across the reverse side, as if whispering stories from the 1950s. This natural toning makes every surviving piece entirely unique, a living piece of silver history in your palm. But here's where it gets fascinating. Not all 1954 with D. Franklins are equal. The majority were struck with slightly worn dies, producing soft details, especially on Franklin's hair and the Liberty Bells lines. However, the few coins that survived in very fine condition, with sharp features and clean bell lines, are a completely different story. Collectors hunt. These like treasure hunters chase gold because finding one with that wave-like toning, that original shine, and crisp details is like discovering a forgotten masterpiece hidden in plain sight. The rarity of this coin isn't just about its age, it's about survival. Many of these half-dollars were melted down when silver prices soared. Others were simply lost to circulation, their luster fading with every exchange. So, when a 1954 with D surfaces today in pristine, very fine condition, collectors don't just see silver, they see opportunity, they see history, they see treasure. And that treasure? It's real, tangible, and breathtaking. Because today, the 1954 with D. Franklin half-dollar, in very fine condition, commands a jaw-dropping $144,000 in the collector's market. Yes, you heard that right, one coin, once worth just 50 cents, now stands as a six-figure piece of American heritage. Its market value has been climbing like a rocket, and experts predict it's nowhere near its peak. Day by day, as collectors realize how few remain in elite condition, this coin's worth continues to rise. It's not fiction, it's reality, backed by collector data, auction records, and relentless demand. Imagine holding that coin, feeling the subtle weight of history, the silvery chill of the metal, the energy of a time long gone but never forgotten. You're not just holding a coin, you're holding an echo of 1,954 amperes, whisper from the Denver Mint, and a silent promise of fortune. It's more than money. It's legacy, rarity, and power fused into a single piece of silver. For collectors, here's the golden advice. If you ever come across a 1,954 Franklin half dollar with that bold D mint mark, study it closely. Look for those distinctive gray waves on the reverse, the sharp strike, the smooth shine on Franklin's profile. These are your clues to authenticity and high-grade condition. And if it's genuine and well-preserved, secure it, protect it. Because every year, fewer of these coins appear on the market, and every year the price climbs higher. The 1,954 with D Franklin half dollar is not just a collector's dream, it's a statement coin. A coin that says, you were wise enough to see value before the world did. The type of coin that turns an ordinary discovery into an extraordinary fortune. So don't underestimate it. The market is hungry, the value is alive, and the next time you open an old coin box or sort through a family collection, remember the next gray-shaded Franklin you touch could be your ticket to a fortune beyond imagination. Stay tuned, because the next coin in this list is even more mysterious, even more powerful, and could change everything you think you know about rare Franklin half dollars. And remember, Hidden US Coins brings you freshly updated discoveries every single day. So, if you want to stay ahead of the treasure hunters, subscribe, stay alert, and let's keep uncovering America's hidden silver secrets one legendary coin at a time. Next coin, number 6. When you think of the 1960s, you probably imagine rock and roll, roaring engines, and the dawn of a new American era. But what if I told you that hidden deep in the Denver Mint's archives of 1961 lies a silent legend, a coin so mesmerizing that even seasoned collectors pause when they see it? The 1961 with D Franklin half dollar, a coin wrapped in mystery, beauty, and unimaginable worth. This is not your ordinary Franklin half dollar. This is the silver shadow of a forgotten age, a relic that bridges the world between everyday pocket change and extraordinary collector's treasure. Minted in Denver, the 1961 with D proudly bears the D mint mark, but what truly sets it apart is its breathtaking two-toned appearance, gray on the obverse, and a soft, deeper gray on the reverse. It's like the coin carries two personalities in one body, a natural silver symphony sculpted by time itself. The year 1961 was one of transition. The United States was on the cusp of the Kennedy era, the space race was heating up, and the Franklin half dollar was approaching its final years of production. Struck in 90% silver and 10% copper, the 1961 with D carries that undeniable pre-1964 charm, the true silver heart of American coinage. But here's the catch. Most Franklin halves of this year suffered from worn dies and inconsistent strikes. Finding one today with fine condition, smooth luster, and balanced toning gray on both sides like this is almost a miracle. Collectors call it the Silver Whisperer, because the 1961 with D with its gray shades tells the story of age and endurance. It's not flashy, it's graceful. The soft patina gives it a haunting beauty, a visual proof of 6 decades of survival. You're not just looking at a coin, you're staring at a witness of American history that refused to fade. Now, let's talk rarity. Although the Denver Mint produced millions of 1961 Franklins, only a minuscule fraction have survived in fine condition with natural gray dual toning. Most have been cleaned, melted, or damaged beyond recovery. This rare color pattern and smooth finish make it a top-tier collector's dream, and once such coins appear at auction, they don't stay there long. The bidding war is fierce. Collectors know that every gray-toned 1961 with D they lose today could cost them double tomorrow. And now, the moment you've been waiting for its unbelievable value. This coin, in fine condition with its stunning gray-on-gray tone, commands an astonishing $137,600 in today's collector market. Yes, you heard that right, over $137,000 for a single half-dollar coin that once jingled in someone's pocket. Its value is rising every single year, fueled by scarcity, silver demand, and collector obsession. This isn't hype, it's history meeting market reality. Each passing year, this coin's price graph points higher and higher, and mark my words, its best days are still ahead. You see, the 1961 with D Franklin half dollar is not just silver. It's a relic, a piece of destiny, a living asset. The gray patina isn't a flaw, it's the coin's identity. It's a visual stamp of authenticity that collectors crave. Every hue, every shade, tells a story of time and resilience. Owning one is like holding the soul of the Silver Age in your hand. When searching for this coin, look carefully for uniform gray toning on both sides, that balance between light and shadow that makes this particular piece stand out from thousands. Never polish it, never clean it. The beauty of the 1961 with D lies in its untouched surface, in its quiet silver dignity. That untouched charm is what sends collectors into bidding frenzies and pushes values beyond imagination. This coin is proof that sometimes the quietest coins, the ones that don't scream with shine, are the ones that hold the loudest value. The 1961 with D Franklin half dollar is a masterpiece of natural transformation, a silver relic turned gray legend, and it's becoming rarer with each passing day. So if one day you're flipping through an old coin jar, or opening that box of forgotten silver halves, and you spot a Franklin with that distinctive D and a soft gray glow on both sides, stop everything. You may just be holding your ticket to a six-figure treasure. Stay with me because the next Franklin coin on this list will take us deeper into the heart of silver legend, one that collectors whisper about but few have ever seen. And remember, Hidden US Coins is freshly updated every single day, bringing you the newest discoveries, latest prices, and hidden treasures still waiting in the corners of American history. Stay tuned, because your next coin might just be your fortune in disguise. Next coin number 7. Now, brace yourself because the next coin on our journey isn't just rare, it's mystical. It's a coin that seems to shimmer with a hidden energy, a coin that defies time with its unique tones and unforgettable beauty. I'm talking about the 1962 Franklin half dollar, the Silver Emerald Legend. This masterpiece carries no mint mark, meaning it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, the birthplace of American coinage. And what makes it so alluring isn't just its age or silver content, it's the look. The green spot and silver shine on its surface make this coin one of the most visually captivating Franklins ever seen. Imagine the way light glides across it, silver gleaming through a soft green patina, like moonlight filtering through emerald glass. That's not damage, that's nature's artwork on silver. The 1962 Franklin half dollar was minted during the coin's final years of production, before the Franklin series was replaced by the Kennedy half dollar in 1964. It's made of 90% silver and 10% copper, and represents the very end of the Silver Age, the last breath of America's true silver currency. By the early 1960s, the U.S. was already moving toward cheaper metals, making these later Franklins the final guardians of real silver power. Now, here's where it gets thrilling. Most 1962 half dollars that survived are dull, worn, or cleaned. But the coin we're talking about today, with that rare green spot and radiant silver shine, is a gem in every sense. That delicate green toning is caused by a natural reaction over decades, often the result of silver reacting gently to its environment. For collectors, this kind of toning is a signature of authenticity. It's a fingerprint of history that cannot be faked. Finding one in very fine condition with both the silver luster and natural green tint intact? That's like discovering an untouched treasure chest at the bottom of the ocean. Every single one of these coins tells a story of time, temperature, air, and history all working together to create something breathtaking. And when it comes to rarity, this coin stands tall. While the Philadelphia Mint struck millions of Franklins, only a tiny fraction have survived in the kind of pristine, naturally toned state collectors crave today. Most have lost their shine, some have been polished to death, and others have been melted for their silver. But when you find a 1962 with no mint mark, Franklin with that perfect balance of green tone and silver brilliance, you've struck gold, or in this case, silver fortune. Let's talk about that fortune. Today, this 1962 Franklin half dollar in very fine condition, with that distinctive green and silver beauty, commands an unbelievable $132,500 in the collector's market. Yes, over $132,000 for a 50-cent coin. It's not a rumor, it's the current verified market price. The value of this coin has been climbing steadily for years, and it's not slowing down anytime soon. The market knows that once these special-toned examples disappear into private collections, their prices will skyrocket even more. Imagine owning a piece of American silver history that not only shines, but glows with color, personality, and energy. The 1962 Franklin half dollar is more than just a rare coin. It's a conversation between time and metal, a silver melody frozen in history. The moment you hold one, you'll understand it's not just a collectible, it's an experience. When searching for this coin, never overlook toning. Those subtle green hues mixed with silver brilliance are signs of originality. Don't clean it, don't touch it, preserve it. Authentic toning means the coin has never been tampered with, and that's exactly what gives it its six-figure power. The key to its future value lies in its natural, untouched beauty. Every passing year, more collectors realize the magic of the Franklin series, and this 1962 issue, with its mysterious color and shining surface, sits right at the top of that demand. You're not just collecting silver, you're collecting the final echoes of the silver dollar era. So the next time you're flipping through your collection or checking your family's old coin box, pay attention. That green-tinted half dollar you almost ignored might just be your hidden treasure worth over $130,000. And remember, here on A Hidden U.S. Coins, every single day brings you freshly updated coin discoveries, rising prices, and real collector secrets straight from the heart of the U.S. market. Because sometimes, one small piece of silver can open the door to a life-changing fortune. Next, coin number 8. Now we've reached the final roar, the last silver heartbeat of an American legend. The 1963 with D. Franklin half dollar isn't just another coin. It's the grand finale of the Franklin series, the last to ever roll off the mint presses before history turned the page. And what a finale! It was a masterpiece from the Denver Mint, a coin so extraordinary that collectors call it the final silver thunder. The year was 1963, and America was on the brink of change. The Franklin half dollar had been proudly representing Benjamin Franklin's legacy since 1948. But in this very year, destiny had different plans. By 1964, the nation would mourn President Kennedy and introduce a brand new half dollar in his honor. That means this 1963 with D coin was the last of its kind. The last Franklin ever struck before an entire era of American silver history came to a close. Made from 90% silver and 10% copper, the 1963 with D. Franklin carries that unmistakable weight and sound of real money, that metallic ring only true silver can produce. Its design. Franklin's calm, wise face on the obverse and the Liberty Bell on the reverse was a tribute to freedom, invention, and the American dream itself. But here's the secret. The Denver Mint, identified by the D mint mark just above the bell, produced some of the most sharply struck, crisply detailed Franklins ever seen in the entire series. Yet, among those millions minted, only a handful have survived in extremely very fine condition coins that still hold their mirror-like silver sheen, their razor-sharp details, and their soul intact. Most were melted, worn, or handled into oblivion. But those few that escaped time's wear, they became treasures. When you hold a 1963 with D. Franklin half dollar, you're holding more than silver, you're holding the end of an era. It's the coin that stood on the very edge of history, the bridge between the old silver America and the modern coinage we know today. It's almost as if the Denver Mint knew this would be its farewell to Franklin, because the craftsmanship, the silver quality, and the strike precision of this year were unlike anything before it. And the value. Hold on to your seat, because this coin in extremely very fine condition has a current market value of a staggering $123,000. Yes, over $123,000 for a half dollar that once bought a loaf of bread. But today, this coin could change your fortune overnight. And this isn't exaggeration, this is real collector data, verified market value, and soaring demand. Prices for the 1963 with D have been rising like wildfire in recent years, with experts predicting an even greater surge as high-grade examples become nearly impossible to find. Think about it. This coin is the last Franklin, the final call of silver purity before history moved on. Collectors around the world are chasing this coin not only for its beauty but for what it represents, the closing chapter of a silver dynasty. The 1963 with D. Franklin half dollar has everything a collector dreams of: rarity, history, condition, and a story that feels almost cinematic. It's not just silver, it's a time capsule sealed in shine. Each curve, each line, each reflection on its surface feels alive, like it's carrying the energy of a nation about to step into a new age. Always look for the bold D mint mark, and examine the bell lines on the reverse. Clear, crisp lines indicate an excellent strike, a major factor that skyrockets this coin's value. Keep it untouched, uncleaned, and safely preserved. The more original it looks, the more valuable it becomes. And trust me, the market knows the difference between a survivor and a scrubbed coin. The 1963 with D. Franklin half dollar is more than just a collectible. It's the final note in a symphony of silver. The last flash before the curtain fell on an era of pure silver coins. And if you're lucky enough to own one, you don't just have a coin. You have a monument to American numismatic history. A treasure that will only grow in worth and wonder as the years roll on. So don't underestimate the power of this coin, because sometimes the last of something becomes the most valuable of all. And as we close today's list, remember, every single Franklin we've uncovered tells a story of America's glory, its artistry, and its untold wealth hidden in plain sight. These aren't just coins, they're legends cast in silver. And if you're passionate about discovering more like this, subscribe right now to Hidden US Coins, because we're uncovering new treasures every single day. Tomorrow's update could be the one that changes what you thought you knew about silver forever. Stay tuned, because the next discovery could be the coin that rewrites history. Join our fast-growing community of passionate US coin collectors and silver hunters. Subscribe to Hidden US Coins for daily updates, fresh discoveries, and shocking market insights that YouTube doesn't want you to miss.